As watch collectors and enthusiasts, what gives you more satisfaction in this hobby? Is it the chase? Is it the profit from flipping certain watches? You see, for me, I've been asking myself that question ever since I put my first wristwatch on my wrist over 30 years ago. I've got a very analytical engineering mindset, and I like to examine all variables and specs when I come to buying a watch. I rarely or never buy a watch without doing all the background research first. I never buy a watch on a whim. I've done it once or twice in the last 30 years, and I've done it again today. You see, I knew nothing about this watch 2 seconds before I pressed the buy it now on eBay. Nothing about its price, nothing about its value, nothing about its movement, absolutely nothing. All I knew that the look of this watch spoke to me. The design language and the layout said 3 special words to me. The feedback watch. Let's check this thing out. Now I bought this watch from eBay, guys. It's a pre-owned watch, and look, for me it's stunning. It's very reminiscent of a Bell & Ross instrument watch. It's an Oris. It's lovely. It's a pilot's inspired watch. It looks like an instrument in one of their aeroplanes, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But before we continue, let me give you a quick word about our sponsor, Watch Crunch. Watch Crunch has paid me a large amount of undisclosed, unmarked, unsequential dollar bills to sponsor this video. And now I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. Well, maybe not rich, but they've sponsored this video, which is pretty cool. So what is Watch Crunch? Well, basically it's a platform for watch nerds who wear more than one watch per day, just like me. And you know what? It's actually free. It costs nothing, zero, zilch. I joined up myself a while back, and I tell you what, it's just an honest bunch of watch nerds with none of the BS. There's no hype, there's no bullying, just a friendly community of real watch lovers like you and me. So if you love watches, then this is the perfect outlet for questions, discussions, posts, wrist shot of the day. It's pretty cool. I encourage you guys, head over there, and if you get a chance, even follow me on Watch Crunch. Let's get back to the video. So I mentioned at the start of the video, guys, that I normally don't buy a watch on a whim, and that's exactly what I did on this, because you know what? I just took one look at it. For me, it's, the feedback watch. All I saw was a watch, a dial that's giving me feedback. You see, if you haven't already noticed, at the bottom there's the day complication, and there's also a date. This particular watch is called an Oris BC4 Retrograde day. So in other words, that day-date complication snaps into position just like that, instantly, when this watch reaches 12 midnight. It's a retrograde, which is quite a nice quirky feature, and I love that. But beyond that, the watch is actually extremely easy to read and extremely easy to wear. This is a previous generation Oris. It's not a current stock, guys. And I knew nothing about it. I'd seen some of the BC4s in the past, but they were a little bit too busy for me, with an extra crown on top, just busy dials. And this to me is lovely. I just took one glance on eBay, and I just pressed buy it now. I didn't even think. I've done that 2 or 3 times in 30 years, and the watches that I got, they just spoke to me. I just had to have it. I had to try it. I didn't want to miss out. Now this watch is a 42.7mm case diameter, but it fits brilliant on the wrist. It's got a fantastic, even the case height at that size is extremely wearable. And I've been wearing this for a week on the wrist, and it has been a joy. Now I mentioned I didn't know anything about this watch, and some of the things that I found out was that crown. You see, that crown is an oversized crown, but it's an Oris quick lock security crown. In other words, you do a quarter turn and it unlocks. The watch offers 100 meters of water resistance, and as soon as you turn it in and lock it, it's done, it's sealed. And that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool feature. I like that. I love watches that give me feedback visually, mechanically. I like stuff like that. That's my DNA. That's how I'm built. And it probably explains why I've got so many divers, so many chronographs in my collection. Now you notice I've got the watch on an FKM rubber strap. I've also placed it on an Artem strap. Brilliant. NATO, anything goes on this thing. Being a black dial with white Arabics and extreme legibility, this goes with anything. Leather, sailcloth, NATO, rubber, it doesn't matter, it'll work, and it does work. And I've had several Oris watches in the past in my collection, and they've featured pretty much the same movement. This is an Oris caliber 735. Its base movement is a Sellita SW220. 38 hours power reserve, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, 4 Hz. but I know for a fact that all of the Oris watches that I've had in my collection in the past, as soon as I put them on the time grapher, they're stable, they're reliable. And so is this. On the wrist in about a week, it's going about 2 or 3 seconds. That's pretty cool for a previous generation Oris. And I say that for a reason, because a lot of the times we harp on and off about it's got to be in-house, it's got to be in-house, and look, it's not in-house. Oris does make in-house movements for their watches. They cost an arm and a leg, just like Omega, just like Rolex, just like Tudor, just like any other brand. But when you get a movement like this, which is somewhat ubiquitous, you know it's reliable, you know it's strong, tough, and Oris does it well. So that was one of the convincing factors. As soon as I saw the name Oris and I saw the style of the watch, I pressed buy it now without thinking. I knew I was going to get something at least half decent. And you've probably seen a couple of scratches and marks on the bezel. It is a pre-owned watch, but even just playing with this thing for the last week or so, enjoying it, this modular case is one of the things that pushed me over the line. You see it's got a top and a bottom and a middle section. It's all held together with these very industrial screws. It just looks like an instrument cluster. It just looks something that came out of an aeroplane. I love it. I absolutely love it. Before the watch arrived, I was a little bit concerned, being a 42.7mm watch, all dial pretty much. I thought, gee, it's going to be big, but you know what, it's not. The way it's designed, those lugs, they seem to turn down straight away. It's been a pleasure on the wrist and a real eye-opener. And the reason I'm sharing this video about this watch, like I said in the intro, what is it that gives us the most joy in this hobby? About watch collecting, flipping, buying, selling? Is it the chase? Is it being able to get the latest and greatest? Because this is not the latest and greatest, and yet it's giving me so much feedback, so much joy. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own boxes that need to be ticked. I've purchased the latest and greatest, I've purchased old stuff, I've purchased unpopular watches, and I find the things that give me the most joy are the things that speak to the soul, speak to the heart. Something that stimulates me, firstly, visually. I look at a layout or a design and it has to speak to me. Functionality for me is key. I love the engineering and the key elements of a case, the usability of a crown. Everyone's different. For me, this particular watch has got an alluring look. It's got a feel and it's got a size that it's very strange. It's drawing me in, and I had to add this to the collection. I'm so happy to have this. It is such a quirky, such a beautiful instrument cluster watch. This is all me, I love it. It's not perfect. There's things on this watch that could have been improved and better, but that's with every watch. For argument's sake, the lume, it's good, it's very good, but it's not exceptional. The power reserve, it's only 38 hours. I would have loved to have 50 or 60. The water resistance on this is 100 meters with that lockdown crown. I would have loved to have 2, just for peace of mind, albeit I have been using this in the water. I've been a bit cheeky. But love the watch, love the design elements of this watch. Give me some feedback, guys. The reason for this video is for you guys to give me some feedback. Let me know in the comments what gives you guys the most satisfaction in this hobby. I've expressed to you what I like. It can be simple, it can be expensive, it can be cheap, it can be old school, it can be new school, it doesn't matter. As long as the watch gives me feedback, ticks my inner boxes, I'm good. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I really enjoyed sharing about this watch because it's more of a personalized watch because of the visual love affair that I had upon first inspection. And I really I hope that came across, and I wanted to share it with all of you. Let me know your thoughts. Hit me up in the comments, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you all in the next video.